What is up, everyone? Mariah Never Student Aesthetics, and today I want to talk about rep ranges. I want to talk about building muscle because that is obviously what most of you people that are watching my channel are all about. My personal goals lie within building the best physique I possibly can. So today we're going to discuss what kind of rep ranges you want to follow in the gym. So let's get it started. So when it comes to fitness, nutrition, and the whole lifestyle, I always feel like people are really black and white in a way of thinking. This certain rep range works, so I'm gonna stick to it forever. I'm gonna only do this rep range because that seems to work for me. And then you get kind of caught up in doing the same thing all over and all over again. And you hear so many people say different things. Like for one person it is like the magical 3 sets of 8 reps. For the other one is the 4 sets of 10 reps. Other people say that 5x5 is the most optimal for building muscle mass. Now what is actually the most optimal? Because so many people are saying so many different things. So a lot of people have different opinions, right? And I feel like there is kind of where the problem lies. Because when you step your foot into the gym and you don't know anything, and somebody who looks jacked gives you advice, you usually just start following it because you believe him, right? He is jacked, so he must know what he is doing, right? Very often this is not the case, guys. There are actually a lot of people that don't know what they are doing, and you may still get results. When you are a noob and you train with a non-optimal style, you will still make gains because you will get newbie gains. And that is basically the process in which your body is not adapted to lifting at all. So once you start touching the weights, you will make progress anyhow. Even if you're eating in a caloric deficit, you're not giving your body enough food, you will still be able to build muscle, right? Same thing happens when you are on steroids. And that is why a lot of people follow the advice from people on steroids, because those people look jacked, so they must know what they are doing. Very often they do not know what they are doing, or they just train in a different style than you would when you are natural, because you will get results anyway. It's kind of the same as newbie gains. If you are on steroids, you can eat less food and still make progress. You can do whatever kind of rep range you want and you will make gains because your body will be so more effective in building muscle. Now, if you are natural, you want to train in a smart way, all right? And I've talked about this a lot. You guys definitely want to check out my other video about training frequency. And that is really, in my opinion, the base you need to know when you're a natural lifter, because that is even more important than the certain rep ranges you want to do for building muscle mass. So I'll put a link in the description box down below. Definitely check out that video first. But when it comes to rep ranges, let's talk about what is optimal if you are a natural lifter. So first, let's talk about how your body actually builds muscle. So the first one is progressive overload. Then we got muscle damage and cellular fatigue. Now, the most important one for building muscle is the first one, progressive overload. And I've talked about this a lot in various videos, and that basically means progressing over time. So putting more stress on your muscles. Once your muscles get more stress on it, they will try to fight back against it, and therefore they will build muscle to be able to fight against the stress, right? So if you use heavier weight, your body wants to be able to do that weight the next time, so it'll grow muscle. Obviously, if you give it enough food to work with as well. And so heavy training with low volume will stimulate mostly progressive overload and muscle damage. And then the pump style training, so light weights, very high reps, will stimulate the cellular fatigue the most. So like I said, in order to stimulate that progressive overload, you want to put more stress and more stress onto your muscles. If you only stick to one certain rep range, for example, the 8 to 10 reps, it is very hard to keep making progress in that rep range because you always kind of stick to the same weights. You may be able to increase a bit more per training, but that will be so small that when you get to an advanced point, it's very hard to properly progress every workout, and it's probably not even possible. And that is why I personally think that combining the hypertrophy with strength training, so lower reps, is the most optimal way of building muscle mass. And not just strength, I'm also talking about muscle mass. And I'm talking about the 3 to 5 rep range here, all right? If you're really trained for pure strength purposes, so powerlifting purposes, you usually stick within the 1 to 2 to 3 rep range. But I'm talking about 3 to 5 reps here, which will definitely stimulate muscle as well by itself, actually, all right? So if you would only do 5 reps and not even any like 8 to 10 reps, you will still build muscle. But I feel like incorporating some hypertrophy work is very optimal because you will be able to add more volume to your workouts and at the same time stimulate pure hypertrophy. And also it is important because if you only do strength training, you will be more prone to injury, and it's also very taxing your central nervous system if you do that like 5 times a week. And that is why the combination of strength training with hypertrophy training is the most optimal for building muscle mass. And the reason being is that lower reps make your central nervous system more efficient. They also also require you to use heavier weights, and therefore more stabilizers will be used in the lifts. The heavy lifts require more focus and tightness as well, and actually more muscle fibers will be activated when you lift very heavy in the lower rep ranges. And next to that, I can tell you guys from personal experience that lifting in those lower rep ranges will really help with boosting up your lifts in the 8 to 12 rep range as well. And that is really your body's way of adapting, and now it's used to like very heavy weights. So then when you go back and you do like 8 to 12 reps, you obviously use less weights than you do on the lower reps, but it will feel a lot less heavy, and you will more likely be able to make gains on that lift as well. So the two styles of training really go hand in hand, and it's pretty logical because your body has different type of muscle fibers in different type of muscles, different type of blood cells, and amounts of blood cells, and that is why I feel like you should use a combination of all kinds of different rep ranges, but you should stick mostly to the strength rep ranges and then the hypertrophy rep ranges. And then next to that, in some isolation lifts, you actually may want to go a little bit lighter and do some pump work, all right, but very limited. Maybe like do it on a couple of sets. And yeah, with that said, since I started implementing this style of training, I have made so much progress in the gym. So that is why I'm sharing this with you guys, because if you are natural, it is not necessarily about busting your ass in the gym, going balls to the walls, destroying your muscles, walking around with pains and aches, and doing drop sets and supersets. All right, you can leave that to the people on steroids. If you are natural, you want to train smart. And I'm not saying you cannot use any of these training styles, but use them in a way that you know what you are doing. So always remember that progressive overload is the key driver to muscle growth if you are natural, and it is what you should focus on primarily, all right? And the other factors can help as well. That's why we throw them in as well as accessory work, but the progressive overload is always our main focus. So always remember that, guys, when you step your foot into the gym, train smart. And also train hard for sure. You gotta bust your ass, all right? But do it in a way that you actually know what you are doing, and not just like mess around, do different workouts every time, just pump a little bit until you feel sore. Instead, log your workouts, write down your weights every single training, and try to increase every single workout. And I'm gonna tell you guys, you'll make some amazing gains. So I hope this video helped you guys out. If you wanna build muscle, it is not black and white. I believe in a combination of everything, so you can have the best of all kinds of worlds. And with that said, I wanna end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If any of you wanna apply for online coaching, wanna work together with me, or have a custom meal or workout plan created for you, then make sure to go to my website, studentaesthetics.com. Link in the description box down below. Please subscribe to my channel, put a comment down below, like this video, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace out.